Here's a natural way to hack your brain. Method of Loci. This technique, which is also used by memory champions, is an effective method for storing and recalling especially complex information dating back to ancient Greece. It is also known as the memory palace or Sherlock's mind palace. The word Loci is the plural of locus, Latin for location. In this method, you use a familiar location to place information in different places in your mind. Now let's get straight to the main part and learn how to use the method step by step. Choose a familiar place. Choose a place you know well. This could be your home, a walkway, or a school building. The important thing is that you can easily visualize the place and the objects in it. Create an imaginary location. Let's say you have chosen your house. Now set a route where you go through the rooms of your home one by one and imagine scenarios where you interact with things. For example, I entered the room, looked at the clock on the wall, sat in a chair and drank the water on my desk, then went to the kitchen, opened the fridge, got 2 eggs and a tomato, prepared my food, went to the living room, turned on the TV and started watching a movie. Let's end the example route here for simplicity and move on to the next step. Place the information in the space. This is where the fun part starts. Relate the information you need to remember to the rooms and objects in the house. You can relate the information to different objects for different topics, but your route should always remain the same. Now I will place these random words you see in my memory palace in order. The more fantastic the story, the more the information will be remembered. I walked into the room and saw a huge pool. I asked my Pinocchio doll standing next to the clock who did this. The liar Pinocchio said it wasn't me, and his nose grew long. I got angry at him and threw my chair hard against the wall, but then I calmed down and sat down. I was so thirsty that I drank a glass of sugar on the table instead of water. Then when I opened the door, a strong wind from the kitchen blew me straight into the kitchen. While I was there, I opened my fridge, which had a little jungle in it. I reached in and took out 2 funny eggs that laughed all the time and a tomato that played on the computer all day. They were afraid of being cooked, so they flew out of my hands and flew up to the clouds. I said, "Whatever," and went into the living room. There was a cartoon movie on TV called Adventure Time, so I sat down and watched it. Thanks to this fantastic story, the words are now in order in my mind. I can remember them all at any time by visualizing the same route and the same story in my mind. Do it again. Take a mental tour of your memory palace every now and then to refresh your memory. Especially if you are preparing for a difficult exam, the information you need to remember will be much more than 10 simple words. If you are asking, how do I remember long sentences? The solution is simple. You need to choose keywords. For example, you need to remember Canada is home to 60% of all the lakes in the world from the textbook. First, let's choose the keywords Canada, lake, 60% from this sentence. Then, let's transfer them to our memory palace using method of Loci. For me, I came up with a story like this. I went into my room and saw a big lake. There were people in the lake saying they were from Canada and holding Canadian flags. I started to look at my wall clock, puzzled. It said 6 o'clock, but strangely, instead of the number 6, it said 60%. I sat in my chair to understand all this. Yes, that's it. Now this information is part of the memory palace. This may sound long for a sentence at first, but once you train your brain, it will take you seconds to construct this story. During my university years, I used this method to prepare for an exam in a subject that I did not like and that was difficult for me. The result was so successful that my friends who knew that I did not like the subject thought that I was cheating. Of course, I don't use this method for every subject, but only occasionally for very complex subjects. If you consistently use this method in all areas, you may even be able to participate in memory competitions in the future. To start with, just try placing the grocery list in your memory palace. In fact, all memory techniques are based on associating words with a figure and imaginatively visualizing this figure in a fantastic way. Of course, very few people have a photographic memory and are able to commit the pages they see to memory as they are. Apart from them, the techniques used by other people are based on the same system. Even the Da Vinci method, which is prominent in language learning, uses imagination for words. Maybe I'll make a video for that too. In the meantime, don't forget that a good memory requires proper nutrition and good sleep. That's all for now. If I have helped you, join us. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself.